All right, joining us today, it's Mac Monday on Pirate Radio Live. Coach Mac is here. Coach, how you doing, sir?
Well, I'm doing better than my football team, but it was another great weekend of college football overall. We've had some incredible games. If you didn't like some of the stuff you saw on Saturday, you just not ever going to be a college football fan.
All right, when Mac says something, pay attention. That includes when he's got a pick or says a line is fishy, or if he talks about coaches being on the burning hot seat. Because going into the Vanderbilt game, you said this is one Brent Pry really needs for himself, the program, and the fan base. And then coming out of that game, you used it in the past tense. That's one that Pry really needed because it did not go the Hokies' way, and that kind of set the feelers off in my mind anyway, because Mac is not just one of these fire this guy guys. But when you start bringing up stuff like that, Coach Mack, it means that something could be happening. And then the nail in the proverbial coffin was a blowout home loss to Old Dominion, and Pride did not make it through the weekend as the Hokies head coach. So what are they doing now, Coach Mack, in the short term, and then any ideas on what could happen long term with the Hokies?
Well, it's really a big moment in Virginia Tech athletics future. Because you have an athletic director who's hired two football coaches who didn't do well, and he's done great things in other areas. But I don't think there's anybody that's probably wanting him to hire the next coach. Therefore, you've got to wonder about Whit Babcock's future. And then you have the president, Dr. Sands, and Whit Babcock are the longest or the second longest tenured duo of AD and president in the country. That's pretty unusual. And Dr. Sands, the president, is the chair of the Division I athletics committee for the NCAA. So he has been involved in the athletic side of things and what's going on with the NCAA and the college football playoff and that kind of thing. Um, so the first question is, uh, no football coach is coming and not knowing who his boss is, and is Whit
Yeah.
Babcock going to be his boss? They've already set up the committee, and they've said that Whit Babcock will support and advise the committee, but he's not on the committee, which is an interesting way to dictate that and to move forward with that. So I think everybody's a little bit okay with that, but uneasy with it at the same time, because I don't think you can hire a football coach without an AD, and hiring an AD at this time of year is a little bit tricky. So you've got to have a football coach in place before the portal and all that that happens in December. So it's going to be an interesting time. The ask had been in for the from the athletic department for the board of visitors to enhance the budget to make it more in line with the top of the ACC. The budget was pretty good, but it wasn't what Clemson and Florida State and Miami were spending. So, that was under, advisement and consideration. And I think they'll act on that probably pretty quickly to kind of balance that out, which will be a good situation for whoever comes in. But needless to say, tough time for Virginia Tech fans. They had another near sellout crowd Saturday night, and they weren't around at the end of the game, as you can
Yeah.
imagine. But the game against Old Dominion was fairly predictable. A running quarterback, and ironically, the very first game of the Brent Pry era was a loss in Norfolk at Old Dominion, and his last game was a loss at home to Old Dominion. And even more irony, Ricky Ronnie is one of his best friends. They were on the staff together at Penn State.
Time is a flat circle. I don't know AD candidates like I do coach candidates, but if Virginia Tech is looking to go that route, I know Jeff Confer is available. That I do know. Brent Pry, not the only coach to be fired over the weekend. Deshaun Foster and UCLA get blown out by Utah, lose to UNLV, and they get smoked at home by New Mexico. And Deshaun Foster, former great UCLA running back, is no longer their head coach. So they're looking for one
Yeah,
as well.
and they kind of had a similar thing in that he made some progress last year and looked like maybe he could get this turned around, but that overall that experiment has been a disaster and an alum, and I know it was tough on everybody out there, but they've got to come to the table too. They have to have a reckoning. They didn't get the full benefit of joining the Big Ten like USC did. They had to give some of their money to California, being a state school when they left. The folks in the legislature said, no, we're not going to let UCLA do this and leave Cal behind. So they get some of their money. And then they've had other financial problems. So they've got to decide what their future is going to be too. And, when you change coaches, that's a good time to make a statement that you are going to provide the resources and support that you need.
Do you think if things stayed the same, like how they were supposed to be, Aguilar at UCLA and Nico at Tennessee, do you think the outcome's still the same right now?
Oh, no, I don't. Well, maybe Foster could have still been fired, yes, but the futures of the two programs might look different. Certainly, I think Tennessee's probably wouldn't look as good. Which I don't know that anybody saw that coming. Did you, Jared?
No, I didn't think 0-3. I mean, I figured they lose to Utah or something, but losing to
Yeah.
UNLV and New Mexico the way they did, I didn't see that happening. And I didn't think Joey Aguilar would be as good as he has been at Tennessee.
Right, right.
All right, speaking of Tennessee, before I get there, and well, this kind of is in conjunction with Tennessee. Mac, I talked about a defensive renaissance, and you shot me down and poo-pooed me. And by the way, that renaissance is over.
Yeah.
We saw some high-scoring, big-time games this weekend with Notre Dame, A&M, and with Tennessee and Georgia. Tennessee, boy, that first quarter was awesome in Knoxville. It looked like Big 12 football instead of SEC football, just going right up and down the field. Then the defense is settled in for two quarters, and then we saw more fireworks kind of late in that game. But that was one thing that stood out to me. Not only did we get great games like we did week one with the top 10 matchups, top 25 matchups, Coach Mack, but we got some points in these games.
Yeah, it was fun. Texas A&M, Notre Dame, and we still have some questions. What's going on with Lenore Sellers and Arch Manning and DJ Lagway. Lagway has had more interceptions Saturday night than 121 Division One teams have this season. That's just an incredible number.
And you've got Notre Dame at 0-2. Tennessee has lost. Michigan, Bama, Texas. I know these teams have played some good teams, but we're just kind of throwing that out there. Florida already has 2 losses this year. So kind of big picture, Mac, how many 2-loss teams are going to be in the college football playoff? And will we have a 3-loss team or 2 in the college football playoff this year? Because we're in week 3, and there are losses to be had, I think, by some of these top 5, top 10 teams.
Yeah, I think there'll be quite a few 2-loss teams. 3-loss teams, I don't think make it unless they win their conference championship, and that's a possibility just because of the inequity in the schedules, the unequal schedules that we have because of this stupid conference realignment stuff that's going on.
Mac, signs of a good football team. There are several signs that you can see week to week, game to game, but I think one of them is going on the road and taking care of business when you're supposed to. And East Carolina shuts out Coastal Carolina 38-0. And I was nervous about this game all week, even though Coastal had not shown any signs of life offensively. Yeah. They make a quarterback change and they get 0 points. Once again, the East Carolina defense, that is now what's the number? 9 straight quarters without allowing a touchdown for ECU going back to the state game. So credit to the Pirates just for kind of taking care of business. They're not going to get any national love for shutting out a bad Coastal team, but the confidence has got to be sky high right now heading into BYU Saturday night.
You would think, and you immediately go to the what ifs against NC State, and but the Pirates have bounced back and done what they need to do to set the stage for what is going to be one of the bigger games at Dowdy Ficklin in a while. This ought to be electric. If that place is not packed, we're not doing it right.
Even with the Coastal win, and I get coaches and players will sometimes say after a win, like, there's a lot left. Just, normal cliche speak. But just watching that game, 38, we should have scored 60.
Yeah, it was 10-0, and it should have been.
You have 2 red zone trips with no points.
Yeah.
You have a pick, which was kind of an uncharacteristic pass from Caton Hauser. Just a lot of missed opportunities, and you still come out with the shutout.
Maybe another sign of a pretty good team. You don't play your best, and you win 38-0.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but it's a bad sign for Jared. He's going to expect his 5-star wife to cook also. I mean, come on now. We can't be nitpicking here.
I'm not nitpicking. I mean, the coaches and players said the same thing. It's like you can play, I don't want to call it a poor performance, but you don't play your best and you still come out like that. That's crazy.
Hey, the coach, Mack McCarthy, would have appreciated that because coaches are never happy. Now Mack is just a fan. He wants you to be a little happier.
Exactly.
I'm happy.
You're happy? Well, you shouldn't be because your picks suck. You went 1-4 last week.
Yeah. I didn't do the puns. I got to do the puns.
Mac and I were 3-2. I was the only one that had Georgia Tech. Mac was the only one that had A&M. Good eyes there, Coach Mac.
And that was my upset, too.
Yeah, and we all did good. I had Duke winning at Tulane, although Georgia Tech, I'll count that as an upset. Yeah. Who was your upset?
Cal over Minnesota.
Good call. So the upset picks are hitting. Let's make some picks this week. Coach Mack and Clip are 8-7. Jarrett at 6-9 after 3 weeks. We're picking straight up, but we are picking kind of the toughest games. I'm making sure that we're picking games that at least you can question one side or the other. Mac, tell us about this Big 12 showdown, Texas Tech and Utah, and why the heck is this a noon kickoff? That's terrible.
Yeah, I think it's because Big Noon is out there. The show, the Fox show is out there, I think. At least that was what the plan was early on. But Texas Tech, best team money can buy. Utah rebuilding after last year's odd year off. They had the quarterback issues a year ago and didn't perform. Everybody thought they were going to roll into the Big 12 and win it right away. We may have been right, but those of us who picked that, but we may have had the wrong year. That this might be their year. And I think at home, even though Texas Tech has bought a lot of good players, I really like Utah playing at home.
I'm going with the Utes as well. Jarrett is going with Texas Tech because that was his preseason team.
That's my preseason team, and I still have them winning the Big 12, but they'll be Uten and hollering in Utah. Give me the Utes.
Wait, are you bringing back the puns?
Yeah, I did terrible last week without them.
Good
and
deal.
You're taking Utah to win this game.
Yeah. I like both these teams. I'm just going with whoever's at home.
Tulane at Ole Miss. One thing, Mac, there was so many good games the other night. I did kind of keep an eye on Arkansas, Ole Miss. Is Ole Miss just going to score and not play a lot of defense, or is Arkansas that good this year? Because that one, I think, was 31-28 at halftime, if I'm not mistaken.
It was, yeah. They covered the over/under in the first half, I believe, and I think Ole Miss is going to go back to where they were when Lane Kiffin first got there and not play any defense, and that could be dangerous against a really good Tulane team. But they're still going to be at home, and they're still going to score points. And even if they don't play defense, they'll probably still win the game.
Yeah, too many Jimmies and Joes for Ole Miss for me in this one. I'd like to take Tulane, but I'm not going to do it. Jarrett.
I think Tulane is too much, and the Green Wave capsizes Ole Miss's boats.
Okay, I like that. Alternate upset pick, not my official pick, Memphis over Arkansas this week. Mac?
I would like that a whole lot better than that last week because I thought Arkansas might get Ole Miss, but Arkansas played really well, and they're kind of their backs are against the wall a little bit. I have trouble picking Memphis, even though I really like them, and I think that coach has done a great job. I like Arkansas.
All right, Mac. Is it time for your Auburn Tigers to give? They have been kind of not left behind, but you think of SEC and Bama and LSU and the newcomers with Texas and everything. Auburn's kind of been in the background a little bit. Here's a chance for them to get back in the national spotlight if they can go to Norman and win. Do you give them a chance to go do that?
I really think they're good enough to do it, but picking them, that's just too hard. If this game was in Auburn, not even a question. I would pick them to win, but and I don't like picking Venables whatsoever. But I'm trying to win this thing, so I'm going to go with Oklahoma.
I don't like picking Venables, but I don't mind picking their quarterback. So give me Oklahoma at home.
Yeah, I like Oklahoma. I couldn't come up with one.
Just say something sooner rather
Sooner
than
than later.
I already
I-
did that one.
Sooner
All
than
right, yeah.
later.
Sooner or later, you got to give Brent Venables his respect. So Oklahoma wins.
Oh, you could have called Coach Mack a boomer.
Oh yeah,
Come on, man. Now I gotta write this stuff for you.
I'm coming up with them on the fly.
All right.
We're both trying to help, Jared.
Appreciate you.
Florida at Miami. Florida just gets so much credit from Vegas. They're 3-point dogs in this game. I think I saw. Miami looks real, Coach Mack.
They really do. Game day is going to be there, and this is the game that Miami has let us down in the past. For those who say Miami is back, this is kind of game that they'll screw up. But I think Carson Beck is doing it, and I don't have any confidence at all in Lagway. Yeah, I know he's got super talent, but when you throw more interceptions than more than half the 90% of the Division I teams, you got something going wrong. And it wasn't like they were great plays by the defense either. He was throwing it right to the defender.
Jared, you have to be taking Miami here.
Absolutely. DJ has been lagging his way through all of these games, and I think Miami canes Billy Napier for his crimes against the University of Florida.
He's back.
He double dipped right there.
He
He
is
took
all the way
both
back.
sides.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Give me the U.
All right. This is a good one, Jamie. Illinois at Indiana. Indiana rolled up like 70 or 80 the other day. Friday night, I think it was. So I took Illinois to make the playoffs, so I have to take them to win this game. So for that reason and that reason alone, give me the Illini. But I'm looking forward to it. I hope this is a good game, Coach Mack.
Yeah, even a better game than I thought going into the season. The quarterback for Indiana has really, really been good. But I'm kind of like you. I don't want to take a road team in this selection bunch we got, but I can't believe every home team will win. I'm going to go with you. I'm going to go with Illinois.
I like being on Mack's side. Jarrett.
I'm going to pose a question to you. Who sure will be drinking champagne after this matchup on Saturday night? The Illinois Fighting Illini.
All right, Bone all the way back.
You've made a big comeback today, Jared.
Yes, he did. Upset pick of the week. Give me Arizona State to win in Waco over Baylor. Who do you guys got?
I'm going to take Hawaii at home, 2.5-point dog to Fresno State.
Oh, hate that. Love my Valley boys. Coach Mack.
I'm going Nebraska over the Wolverines.
I wanted to pick that so bad, and then I remembered who Nebraska's coach was. And I know he's a great college coach, has been everywhere, but something about his face I don't like.
Yeah,
Wow.
I don't know, man. I mean, a matchup of Charlotte legends, Biff Poggi and Matt Rule. I don't know. I don't know who to go with.
Both got ran out of town in the Queen City. I like that pick, though, Mac, and that you want to talk about atmospheres, I would think they would have one there. People, this is like you said, Miami, like are they back or whatever? I don't think this cements Nebraska as being back, but that would be big for that fan base waiting for a winner for a while.
Yeah, at least back in the conversation, not all the way back, but in the conversation if they can pull this one off.
Group of 5 poll, Tulane #1 after really handling Duke. Good for them. Because Duke had their backs against the wall kind of deal coming off a loss. So that's a great win by Tulane. I'll keep South Florida in there just for what they did the first 2 weeks. UNLV undefeated. Navy is putting up a lot of points, and they're doing it every week. I'm going to put them at #4, and then a big Memphis game this week against Arkansas. They can move up in the polls. We're kind of up against it. Before we move to NASCAR, Coach Mack, anything we didn't hit? I mean, we didn't really hit on Clemson being done for the year.
Yeah, they're not done. They could still make the playoffs one way or
I
another.
hope not.
But Oh yeah, and Notre Dame. Yeah, I think the same thing about them. I don't think they can win out necessarily, and I don't think that 2 losses with their schedule they get in. And the storyline that's new is when you buy a quarterback and then play his former team and he gets smoked like Duke did. That's an interesting storyline.
Yeah, no doubt. Jarrett, what happened in NASCAR?
Well, first of all, I was very upset. I guess I didn't look at the schedule, and I didn't realize the race was Saturday night until
Yeah.
I got back from the stadium. But Christopher Bell wins. Me and you neck and neck as we roll on into these playoffs.
The only reason I know is just because I saw it on Twitter that they were actually the first sign I had was Friday night scrolling through Twitter, and I kept seeing about some guy named Honeycutt, but they were racing Friday night, which tells me that they're probably going to be racing on Saturday night. But Coach Mack, did you watch the race at all?
A little bit, yeah. I had the double screen going for a little bit, but yeah, that's a good weekend at Bristol, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. But I'm like Harvick. I don't know why NASCAR goes up against college football on a Saturday night. Doesn't make sense.
Well, the other option is NFL on Sunday, which doesn't make sense.
I would have loved it because, I mean, with the Raiders not playing yesterday, I was kind of just out of it. I mean,
I like when there's a delay or whatever and they have to race on Monday during football season because you get all football Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You got Monday night football, and a little appetizer before that is a race on TV. Obviously not good for the live attendance, Coach Mack, but from a TV standpoint, I love that.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
Maxter, good stuff. Anything coming up this week for you, or are you just chilling? It's about time for you to
chilling.
look.
Starting to go watch people practice. I've got UVA practice this week. I've got their opening game of the Ryan Odom era against Villanova in October. So doing a little basketball prep.
Pirates will be playing St. Bonaventure on Thanksgiving. Excited about that. 2 days before that, Coach Mack, you'll probably be calling a game during Feast Week, but maybe you can watch ECU and Michigan State on Fox Sports 1. That's gonna be
Fort Myers Classic up
Yes,
in
sir.
just outside D.C.
Hey, love the college football talk, and I'm not going to rush it away, but looking forward to some hoops talk with Mac as well later on this year. Thank you, Coach.
Thank y'all.